Hello students. So today let us continue with first chapter of history. What, where, how and when. We studied about how what can we know about the past, so we can know about their lifestyle, how they lived, lives of hunters, herders, farmers, rulers, merchants, priests, craft persons, artists, musicians and scientists. Where did they live? They lived near different riverbanks. We started with Narmada, where settlement was found approx 100 and 1000 years ago. Then we studied about Sulaiman and Kirtar hills, that is situated in the northwest, where we found that wheat and rice was grown about 8000 years ago. Then we studied about northeast and Vindhyas in the central India. We also studied about Ganga and its tributary called Son, where the town Magad was developed, that is now lying in Bihar, and it was one of the large and powerful kingdom. And throughout, why did people travel? So people traveled for various reasons: in search of livelihood or to escape from natural disasters. Sometimes they marched in armies to conquer other lands. Merchants traveled with caravans or ships, carrying valuable gifts from one place to another. And religious teachers walked from village to village, town to town, to spread various messages and promote peace. And also some people traveled in search of some adventures, or they wanted to discover new and exciting places. We studied about past. Now we have to begin with why do people travel nowadays. Now look at map 1 once more. Hills, mountains and seas form the natural frontiers of the subcontinent. While it was difficult to cross these frontiers, those who wanted could and did scale the mountain and across the seas. People from across the frontiers also came into subcontinent and settled here. These movements of people enriched our cultural traditions. People have shared new ways of carving stone, composing music, and even cooking food over several thousands of years. So now people travel nowadays. If we look at the map, these mountains, desert areas and oceans at that time served as frontiers from where people could enter. Though it was difficult at that time to cross these scales, but many people did scale the mountains and also cross the rivers or seas. And people from various other places came to this frontiers and entered our subcontinent, settled in India, and then there was cultural traditions of people moved from one place to another, cultural interactions between people. And now people have shared new ways of carving, how to carve stone, or how to compose different types of musics, and even cooking different types of cuisines. Names of the land. Two of the words we often use for our country are India and Bharat. The word India comes from Indus, called Sindhu in Sanskrit. Find Iran and Greece in your atlas. The Iranians and the Greeks, who came through the northwest about 2500 years ago and were familiar with Indus, called it Hindus or the Indos, and the land to the east of the river was called India. The name Bharat was used for a group of people who lived in northwest and who are mentioned in Rigved. The Rigved, the earliest composition in Sanskrit, dated to about 3500 years ago. Later it was used for the country. Now we all know two famous names of India, India and Bharat. Now India is derived from the word Indus, that is called Sindhu in Sanskrit. The Iranian and Greek people who came to India were familiar with the term Indus, the river, and hence also called it Hindus or Indos. And the land lying to the east of this place was called as India. The land lying to the east of Indus is called India by Iranians and Greeks who came about 2500 years ago. The name Bharat was used for people who lived in the northwest, or also those who are mentioned in the Rigved. Okay, Bharat is for the people who lived in the northwest, or also who are mentioned in the Rig Veda. Now the earliest composition in Sanskrit is Rig Veda, that is about 3500 years ago, and then later on the entire term was used for the entire country. Bharat was used for the entire country. So that is how we derive two names, India and Bharat. Now, finding about the past. There are several ways of finding out about the past. One is to search for and read books that were written long ago. These are called manuscripts because they were written by hand. This comes from the Latin word manu, meaning hand. These were usually written on a palm leaf or on the specially prepared bark of a tree known as the birch, which grows in the Himalayas. Now, if we want to find about the past, there are several ways of finding about the past. One is to search for and read books which were written long time ago. Now, earlier they were written manuscripts. Now, what are manuscripts? Manuscripts are the book that is written by hand. Generally, these were written on the palm leaf or on the specially prepared bark of a tree that is known as birch, and this was found in Himalayas. The plant was grown in Himalayas. A page from a palm leaf manuscript. This manuscript was written about 1000 years ago. The palm were cut into pages and tied together to make books. So this is how they used to make manuscripts. Palm leaf, they used to tie various palm leaves together to make a book. Over the years, many manuscripts were eaten away by insects. Some were destroyed, but many have survived, often preserved in temples and monasteries. These books dealt with all kinds of subjects like religious beliefs, practices, the lives of kings, medicines, and science. Besides, there were epics, poems, plays, and many of these were written in Sanskrit. Others were in Prakrit. Prakrit was the language used by ordinary people at that time, and some were written in Tamil. So these manuscripts were, when they were made, are destroyed by many insects. They ate these manuscripts. Some were destroyed, and many have survived. They survived because they were preserved in temples and monasteries. And these books dealt with all kinds of subjects, be it religious beliefs, be it practices of religion, or the way kings lived their lives, medicine, science. They dealt with all the aspects of life. And besides, there were many epics written like poems, plays, etc., and most of them were written in Sanskrit. Some were written in Prakrit. Now, Prakrit is the language that was used by ordinary people, and some of them were written in Tamil. We learned about manuscripts. Now, about inscriptions. We can also study inscriptions. These are writings on relatively hard surfaces such as stone or metal. Sometimes king got their orders inscribed so that people could see, read, and obey them. There are other kings of inscriptions as well, where men and women, including kings and queens, recorded what they did. For example, kings often kept records of victories in battle. Now we studied manuscripts, now inscriptions. Now inscriptions are written on relatively hard surface such as stone or metal. Sometimes kings who wanted to convey their orders to people, they made it inscribed on the stone so that people could see, read, and obey them as well. And sometimes there were other kinds of inscriptions that were written by men and women, including kings and queens, and they recorded the activities whatever they did. For example, they have given the example of king who often recorded the victories of his battle. Now, can you think of advantages of writing on a hard surface? This is your homework. You have to write the advantages that can be written on the hard surface and what could be the difficulties that people might face while writing on a hard surface. Now here, they have mentioned an old inscription. This inscription dates to about 2250 years ago and was found in Kandahar, that is now in Afghanistan. It was inscribed on the orders of the ruler named Ashok. You will learn about this ruler in the further chapters, but Ashok was a very good ruler of Mauryan dynasty. When we write anything, we discuss script. Now what are script? Script consists of letters and or signs. They consist of letters or signs, and what is and whenever we read what is written or speak, or we use a language, script and language. So here we read two terms: script, that consists of letters or signs, and language, that is what we read, what is written, or what we speak. This inscription was inscribed in two different scripts and languages, Greek and Aramaic, which were used in this area. Make sure you remember the difference between script and language, and also between manuscripts and inscriptions. We will continue from this topic in the next class. Thank you.